Did Mark Sears and Alabama really just make NCAA history tonight in the Sweet 16? Yes, they did. And before we get into exactly what happened, today is day 5 of the NCAA tournament and day 1 of the Sweet 16. 4 games will get played tonight and 4 will be played tomorrow. And the last game of the day comes down to overtime, so make sure you stay all the way to the end. Let's get right into it. So in our first game of the day, we have 2 seed Alabama versus 6 seed BYU. This is going to be a battle between 2 high-powered offenses. Alabama ranks 4th in the nation in KenPom offensive efficiency, and BYU ranks 9th. And both teams are scoring early. Mark Sears is cooking. He has 17 points in this first half. And although BYU is scoring efficiently inside the arc, they finish at the half just 1 for 13 from 3. Meanwhile, Alabama's 12 for 27 from 3. Keep in mind, the NCAA record for threes in a game is 21 by Loyola Marymount in 1990. This Yegor Demon layup makes it an 8-point game, but that's as close as BYU is going to get. Mark Sears hits 2 threes early in the second half, giving him 7 threes for the day. The Sweet 16 record for threes is 8, and the NCAA record for threes is 11. Unfortunately, Mark Sears gets his 3rd foul with 13 minutes left. And just kidding, BYU does get it to 7 points with this 3 here. Thanks to Aiden Holloway and Chris Youngblood, Alabama pushes this lead back up to 16 with Mark Sears on the bench. Alabama now has 18 threes with 10 minutes to go in the second half, just 3 away from the NCAA team record as well. Holloway hits another 3, that's 19 now, and then Mark Sears hits 2 with the Chris Youngblood 3 sandwich in between, officially breaking the NCAA record for team threes. Mark has now set a Sweet 16 record for individual threes, and he's just 2 away from the overall tournament record for an individual. Off the steal, Mark Sears hits his 10th three-pointer of the game, making Mark one of just 6 players ever to have 10 3-point field goals in the NCAA tournament. Jeff Fryer is the only one with 11 in 1990 for Loyola Marymount. Carson Edwards also did this in 2019, Freddie Banks in 1987 for UNLV, Robert Sally 2009 for Memphis, and last year's Jack Golke for Oakland in the round of 64 versus Kentucky. And lastly, Mark Sears gets one more chance to tie the NCAA record, and he misses this 3. He ends the day going 10 for 16 from the 3, a Sweet 16 record, 34 points and 8 assists. And Alabama wins 113-88 over the BYU Cougars. Alabama as a team hit 2 more threes after Sears was out from Chris Youngblood and Aiden Sherrill, putting them at 25 threes for the night, absolutely demolishing the previous record of 21. What's even crazier is that Loyola record originally was kind of an outlier anyway. The next highest was 18, tied by 3 teams. But it doesn't just end there for Alabama. Alabama put up 62 points in that second half. And what's crazy also is 113 points has not been scored in the NCAA tournament since 2008, when North Carolina as a 1 seed scored that much on a 16 seed. Matter of fact, the last time a team scored more than 109 points in a game was Alabama last year in the opening round versus the College of Charleston. This Nate Oates offense is absolutely unbelievable. Chris Youngblood, the stud from Kennesaw State back in 2023 when they made the NCAA tournament, had 19 points on 5 for 11 from 3 tonight as well. And then Aiden Holloway, the Auburn transfer, went 6 for 13 from 3 tonight, 23 points. On the BYU side, I feel like you have a lot to be hopeful for. Number 1, you lose your coach Mark Pope to Kentucky last year, and you respond with this type of season. Not only is Richie Saunders just a junior, you do lose Yegor Demon to the NBA. However, next season, they're getting 3 top 100 recruits, including the number 1 overall recruit in the nation in AJ DeBonsa. And rumors are BYU is absolutely strapped for NIL money in the future. With that being said, let's move on to game 2 of the night. Number 1 seed Florida versus number 4 seed Maryland, but Florida gets up 20-9 early in this one. I have to say, Walter Clayton Jr. is one of my favorite players in college basketball, but did you know he played for Rick Pitino at Iona, and they made the NCAA tournament in 2022? That's one reason I do love the portal. There's things about it I don't love with NIL and the portal, but this is one reason that I do like it. After 3 straight Gillespie threes and an and one, Maryland is now up 29-27 over Florida. And Florida could be in trouble here because their big Condon went down with a rolled ankle, and you need all the size you can get versus Derek Queen and Julian Reese. In that first half, Florida would have 13 turnovers, which is insane for them, but they're still up 42-38. In the second half, Florida starts to pull away a little bit, and at this point, Florida just begins doing what Florida does. They've ground them down in this game. It's a team effort for Florida. Walter Clayton Jr. only has 13 in this one. Alex Condon does return. And although Derek Queen was phenomenal, finishing with 27 points, nobody else from Maryland could really do anything outside of that run Gillespie had in the first half. Florida outscores Maryland by 14 in the second half. They win 87-71. Will Richard led the way for Florida, but they actually had 6 guys in double figures. And like I said, on Maryland's side, Derek Queen had 27. And outside of their 4 leading scorers in Julian Reese, Derek Queen, Jacoby Gillespie, and Rodney Rice, Maryland scored an insane 3 points. And that'll do it for game 2. Let's move on to game 3. Number 1 seed Duke versus 4 seed Arizona. Briefly, before we get into this game, I want to say that the winner of this Duke-Arizona game faces Alabama in the Elite Eight, and then Florida will play the winner of Texas Tech-Arkansas, which is our last game of the night tonight. All right, so back to Duke and Arizona. I have my notes here. We need a signature Cooper Flagg game tonight, and if we just skip quickly to the second half here, Duke is up 70-51. There's still plenty of time left in this game, but Cooper Flagg has been phenomenal. He has 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks. Caleb Love then proceeds to score 15 straight points for Arizona. So Caleb now has 31 points in this game. They've cut this lead down to 8. A couple of free throws for Arizona cuts this lead to 6. Caleb Love even has the chance to cut it to 3, but come on, Malawach blocks him. Arizona has one last chance after this Carter Bryant 3-point jumper, gets it to 5, but Cooper Flagg will ice this game with a couple of free throws, and Duke wins 100-93. Caleb Love finishes a fantastic career with 35 points. On Duke's side, Con Knippel finally has a good game in this tournament. Scoring-wise, scores 20 points on an efficient 7 shots. Fellow freshman Kaman Malawach finishes with 13, 6, and 4 blocks. And then Cooper Flagg has 36 rebounds and 7 assists to go alongside 3 blocks. I was curious, when's the last time a freshman had 36 and 6 in an NCAA tournament game? Well, there's actually only been one player to ever do so. It was Mo Williams in 2002. He had 33, 10, and 6 for Alabama in the round of 64. So Cooper Flagg was in elite company tonight, and Duke moves on to face Alabama in the Elite Eight. I'm so excited for that game. It's going to be a blast. And finally, we have probably the most exciting, definitely the most exciting game of the day. Texas Tech, the 3 seed versus the 10 seed Arkansas. Now, what's crazy about this tournament is that there are no 11 seeds in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2007. And Arkansas is the final double-digit seed remaining in this tournament, which doesn't really feel like it counts because it's a John Calipari team. After Arkansas defeated St. John's, Rick Pitino said they're the longest team St. John's had played all year. And that became so apparent in this first half. Texas Tech scores just 9 points in the first 10 minutes of this game. Arkansas is up 38-31 at half. And I saw this tweet about Arkansas's last 2 games. This Arkansas defense has been absolutely suffocating. Led by John L. Davis, Arkansas would get up by as much as 16 in this second half. And right now, JT Toppin is the only player for Texas Tech that is shooting the ball even remotely efficiently. Darian Williams is 2 for 15 from the field. Texas Tech has only made 4 threes. They're shooting like 17% right now. But this Anderson 3 and Darian Williams bucket makes it an 8-point game. Another Darian Williams bucket, a 3 from Anderson again. We're on a 10-0 run, and Texas Tech is down just 3 points with 1:55 left. That's Tech's just 5th 3 of the game. Toppin gets a block here, but Adu gets the tip, and Knox hits this 3-pointer, which was absolutely killer. But Texas Tech is finally finding their rhythm. Anderson hits a 3 right back. JT Toppin blocks John L. Davis, and with 7 seconds left on the shot clock, he gets a board. Unfortunately, Anderson can't hit a third 3. They foul Jonas Adu, who I have to say is a huge redemption story. I'll get into it more at the end of the game. But Jonas is not a good free throw shooter. He misses the front end of this 1-and-1. And then Darian Williams hits this three. Texas Tech has climbed all the way back from 16 down, shooting 18% from three. They have tied this game with 9 seconds to go. DJ Wagner will not be able to convert at the buzzer. We're going to overtime for the first time in this tournament. Elijah Hawkins had just 1 point all night, but he drills a three here to put Texas Tech up 1. Both teams trade free throws. JT Toppin has this hook shot that puts Texas Tech up 3, but Brazil hits a 3 for Arkansas. This game is crazy. JT Toppin cannot be stopped. 83-81 Texas Tech. When I say this game's crazy, DJ Wagner ties the game again. It's tied at 83 with about 30 seconds to go. Texas Tech runs the shot clock down. Darian Williams in isolation with his back to the basket finishes this bank shot over Arkansas's defender. Darian's completely turned around this game for himself. Coach Cal lets his team play. DJ Wagner kind of gets stuck in isolation here, has to put up a jumper at the buzzer and misses. Texas Tech comes back from 16 points down and wins this game 85-83. The broadcast said it was the second largest comeback ever in the Sweet 16. JT Toppin finishes with 20 points, 5 blocks, and 9 rebounds on 10 for 18 from the field. Darian Williams, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 for 26 from the field. But freshman Christian Anderson was the MVP for Texas Tech, 22 points, 3 threes, 7 for 14 from the field. And then Elijah Hawkins, just 1 basket all night, 1 for 10 from the field. But that 1 3 was made in overtime when it counted. And of course, Kevin Overton off the bench with 12 points as well. What a gutsy win for Texas Tech. I'll mention Arkansas quickly. On Arkansas' side, John L. Davis was phenomenal. He didn't shoot it great, but he had 30 points, was 11 for 11 from the free throw line. Carter Knox had 20 points and 6 boards, and then DJ Wagner 13 points. It felt like Arkansas may have one of the most bothersome defenses left in this tournament. Yet somehow Texas Tech found a way to pull it out. This game and Maryland, Colorado State have by far been the 2 best games of the NCAA tournament. This is what it is made of. And the craziest part is that Texas Tech has a 14-point per game scorer in Chance McMillan that may be available at some point this tournament. Lastly, I have to say that Arkansas clearly missed Boogie Fland, who did play in this tournament but was not himself, returning from injury, and Adu Thero, who played a tiny bit tonight in his first game back since mid-February. Their 2 leading scorers they were missing, and they still had performances like this in this tournament. Have to mention that. But at the end of the day, this was a fantastic, very fun day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Be on the lookout for a video the next couple of days. And as always, we'll see you on the hardwood.